We've just come down to the bottom of the dam. You can see it here behind me. When I made those videos, we were up on top. The third stop for the must-see destinations here in Hatta is today we are heading for a place called Hatta Dam. It is outside of the city of Dubai. It's a mountainous escape and it's a huge contrast from the city. We're looking forward to it.
Let's go. It takes us about 2 hours to get there. So yeah, grab a coffee on the way and we'll get there in about 2 hours.
So we're about 7 kilometers away from the dam. The roads have been absolutely amazing as usual. Very little traffic actually, very quiet, so smooth, kind of like a highway the whole way. So we can just see the Hatta mountain, or the sign, and the Hajar mountains there just ahead of us. So it's super hot. It is saying it's 45 degrees in the car, and it actually feels, you can feel it coming in through the windows like magnifying. So yeah, again, probably not the best time of year to be doing all these outdoor things, but
well, we've kind of timed the trip so that we're going to be like, it's what time now? It's 1:45, so we plan to, you know, get there around 2ish so that the sun won't be as intense, and it gives us time to do, you know, if we want to do a kayak, if it's open. We're not sure if it's open or not, but it'll just give us time to do that, or do a hike or something like that, and not be in the intense heat, because it is intense.
It won't get cool until about 7 o'clock this evening. Not even cool, it'll be just not as intense. We have arrived. So normally when you get to Hatta Dam, down at the bottom of the mountain, there's like an area where you get a shuttle bus up to the top of the dam. And because we are the only lunatics that are here in the middle of summer, there's nobody here. There was no shuttle bus, there was no nothing. So we took the chance, drove up here to the top of the dam. We did meet a shuttle bus back there, and he just waved us on as if to say we can go forward. So we're about to get out of the car and show you the dam and give you some information. Let's go. Okay, we're about to get out. Nobody ever, I don't think, comes up here in the car, so we're not going to stay long because there is a sign saying no parking. So we're just going to take a quick bit of footage, as is the case with everywhere in the UAE. There's cameras everywhere, so we're kind of breaking a rule here, so we're going to be quick.
So as you can see behind us here, we're at the actual dam itself. Hatta Dam was built during the 1990s, just as Dubai was starting to get developed. And the reason for it was obviously obvious. It was to provide water not only to the Hatta area itself, but also to Dubai. And when the reservoir was built, it took 2 years for the water to fill up. So that's how long it actually took.
To fill the reservoir.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the dam is set here in the Hajar mountain range. So there's mountains the whole way around, and we're at an elevation of 330 meters. So this is the dam itself. You can see the pictures there, and that just goes right down to the parking place normally, which I'd say is full during low season, and then this seems to be an area with little shops and cafes and stuff. So that's the dam. You can see all the water running down here, and if we just take You can see the mountains there, they're gorgeous. And if we just take a quick walk over to the other side, you can see the lake, the reservoir behind the dam. And today the area is a hub for all kinds of activities. So you can do hiking, you can do biking, you can do kayaking, you can do canoeing. So they've really turned this area into a tourist spot. The other side I will show you where you can do the canoeing and the kayaking. But it's a hub of activity all around here, obviously during low season, or their high season, which is from October on. I can imagine all the kayaks and canoes and stuff out on this water, and it's a gorgeous colour actually. It's kind of turquoise. So you can just see the contrast there of the water, the mountains, and again the dam is just behind us over there. So we've just come down to the bottom of the dam. You can see it here behind me. When I made those videos, we were up on top there. So we just brought the car down to the big car park, and we're here at the bottom of it now. You can hear the water there in the background. So the artwork that you see is of the two founding fathers, as they say, of the UAE. One was the very first president, and the other was a ruler of Dubai. And he was very important in the formation of the UAE, and it was done by a German artist. So let's take a closer look.
Right now we're just on the way to the Hatta Heritage Village. Parked up our car behind us, about 2 kilometers from where we were at the dam, and we're going to check out the Heritage Village, see what the story is. Even we don't know if it's open or not because it's low season and there's no tourists around, only us two lunatics. So let's check it out. So when you're in the desert, for us the only thing we look for is a nice tall glass of sparkling water with ice. Can't beat it.
It's like heaven.
Heaven. And actually squeeze a lemon in it for us.
Sláinte.
So, sláinte, as they say in Ireland. So right now we're here in the middle of the deserted Hatta Heritage Village, and back in the day this area, Hatta, this village or town, was a very strategic part of the ancient trade routes between the Arabian Gulf and Oman, and camel caravans, as they were known back in the day, used to come along here, and they'd stop off here in Hatta for some water and rest, I guess. So you could just imagine them coming down through the mountains and the hills, the scorching sun, them coming across Hatta and finding a nice little area for the night or something to rest. But Hatta used to be called Harjarin, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and it used to belong to Oman until about 100 years ago. The rulers of Dubai says, no, we want to take it over and we want to protect it, and that's what they did. And they built these forts and watchtowers that you can see pebble dashed around the little village as a means of protecting the area. And the area's history not only runs, 100 so years, it actually dates back to around the Bronze Age times, about 2500 BC, because there are rock carvings on some of the stone and some art from, they're called petroglyphs, and these depict animals and symbols from way back in the day, and the true meaning of these petroglyphs, as they're called, has been lost to time, so no one really knows what they mean or what they meant. But they're all pebble dashed around the area of Hatta. We haven't seen any yet, but we'll keep an eye out for them. And so I guess this area, this town, you can see behind me here, there's like some of these mud towers or mud huts that's being preserved, or maybe they're not the originals, but they're built to look like what the originals were like. But you know, there would have been different types of houses, different maybe local restaurants or something like that these camel caravans and the traders would have stopped in back in the day. And you know, it's nice just being here because we can see that it's so steeped in history here, and there's absolutely no other tourists here, only us two. So it's like we have the whole place to ourselves, and there's something magical about that, combined with the intense heat, the landscape. These are the kind of places that we really love going to when we're on our travels, because there's just that sense of isolation and, you know, hardship in a way. Another interesting fact about Hatta is that it was once a place where tobacco farming was taking place, which is interesting. So back in I think it was the 20th century, it said that tobacco leaves would have been transported on camels from here over to Dubai, and the journey was so arduous that when the modern road was invented, the locals named the road the Tobacco Road. And you know, hard to believe that back in those days you had camels carrying tobacco leaves, and today on that same route you have SUVs carrying tourists and mountain bikes and all that to take advantage of the activities that are now present here. So very cool to see how the area back 100 plus years ago was used as a source for tobacco farming. So we're inside the actual part of the village that's been kept or restored as best as possible. Just to give you some context of these doors, you know, I'm about 5'11", so these doors are pretty small. So either the people were very small, or that's the way they were designed. So just simple rooms. It's so hot in here. So this is your example of one of these little homes. Very small, as you can see, and probably more than sufficient for what people needed back in the day. Probably had a little fireplace somewhere with well, actually they wouldn't have needed a fire, they're in the desert. Maybe somewhere to cook outside, obviously, and I don't know how many people would have been in a typical family back in those days, but you know, really cool to see these little mud huts, or mud houses as they're called, to be kind of restored. I presume it's some of the original, or if not, they just obviously tried to reconstruct it as best as possible. You can see right up here, you have one of these watch towers or forts that the Dubai rulers would have built when they took over control of the area. Can't see a way to get up there because you'd have a good vantage point if we did, but I don't think we can. From here it just looks down on the rest of the village, which is nice, a nice view. The oldest building in the village is seemingly a mosque that dates back to 1780, and that remains one of the if not the oldest building in the area. And even though it's like 3:30 in the afternoon, it's gotten so hot that we actually have to put on long sleeve tops. You know, it's crazy. It gets hotter and you have to put on more clothes, but we could actually feel our skin starting to burn a little, and that just shows you how intensely hot it is, because we've been in Thailand for the past 3 months, we've more than acclimatized to the heat here in Dubai. We've got out and got our skin adjusted to the sun, and still for over the last 2 weeks, and still the sun is starting to burn our skin with the hour or so that we've been out in it here. So I was walking around trying to find Florence, couldn't find her at all, and then I hear her whistling from right up here. Can you see her? So she goes up, finds the entrance to get up to the top, and doesn't tell me, and now I have to go trek all the way back, go up to her.
There's Carlo on his way up. So I am on top of one of the watchtowers. You can see that here behind me. Lovely breeze up here. We're up at a bit of a height. So you can see the village there below, all the mud huts, and then that's another one of the towers that Carlo talked about that they built for protection when Dubai took over. And he made it.
Oh my god, I was just saying how hot it is that we had to put on long sleeve. Can you go in?
No. We're down from the tower, and Hatta Heritage Village has been ticked off the list. So, where to next? The third stop for the must-see destinations here in Hatta is the Hatta sign. And just like our other video when we were up at the Jebel Jays, they love to have a record. And what you might not know is the tallest
landmark sign
in the world is right here at Hatta, in Hatta. It is up there in the mountains somewhere behind us, and it's bigger than the Hollywood sign, obviously, because it is the biggest in the world.
The size of it is 19.28 meters to be exact, and we have to make a decision. Are we or aren't we going to hike it up to it?
Let's see how far it is first. Let's get back to the car.
Right, so we're just back in the car. Flowers on Google Maps. What is the story? How far away is the sign from here?
So the Hatta sign is 3.3 kilometers.
So it's about a 15-minute drive from here, and then I think it's about a half an hour of a uphill hike. So I'm not sure what we're going to do. Or we should probably just drive to the sign and check it out there and make a decision. Are we going to go up it or not? We're literally just dripping with sweat. We've sweated an awful lot, so I don't know. Yeah, we're going to drive to the sign and make a decision then when we get there. Not to the sign, but to the parking area where then the hike takes place from. So behind us up here, can't see it, let me show you a better clip. That is the Hatta sign. Where we are is about a 30-minute hike from here up to there, and we decided that we're not going to do it. As I said, we sweated an awful lot today, and that combined with we don't have any water. We forgot to buy some on the way, of course, and it's a 15-minute journey back to get water. And yeah, we're just feeling tired. That's basically what it comes down to. If this was 10 years ago, we would have been up that like a squirrel up a tree. But we're getting a bit older, aren't we? Well, I am. Some of us, yeah. But yeah, that's
it for
today. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Hatta was a very nice heritage village to see. Lovely bit of history to it. We enjoyed driving here. I think Flower's going to drive most of the way back, and I'm going to take a break. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and make sure you check out the rest of our videos on the playlist for Dubai as well.
See you next time.
Ciao.